There is a safety mandate issue that weighs heavy on my mind, and it's about motorcyclists. Motorcyclists are not required by law to wear a helmet in all states while driving a motorcycle. However, it is against the law to not wear a seatbelt in a motorized vehicle. Police officers will cite drivers for not wearing a seatbelt properly where it comes across the chest in the correct manner, and they will also provide citations for passengers who do not have on their seatbelt. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't seem right to me that you can get in trouble for not wearing a seatbelt in a car, but you can ride on a motorcycle without wearing a helmet. The Click It or Ticket campaign receives far more attention than helmet laws, and a helmet law would be far more effective than the occasional Share the Road bumper sticker that you might see on the back of a car. To provide some statistics for you, from nhsta.gov, over 80% of all motorcycle crashes result in injury or death to the driver. Riders involved in a crash without a helmet are 40% more likely to sustain a fatal head injury. Hospitalization costs are significantly higher for those without a helmet involved in a motorcycle crash compared to those who did have on a helmet. SafeRoads.org claims that helmets save lives and reduce healthcare costs simultaneously. In 2010, the Government Accountability Office report estimated that the direct measurable costs of motorcycle crashes were approximately $16 billion. That is an outrageous cost. Safe Roads also added that laws requiring all motorcyclists to wear helmets are the only strategy proved to be effective in reducing motorcycle fatalities. A recent study has shown that motorcycle helmets are 69% effective in reducing brain injuries and 42% effective in preventing motorcycle deaths. These statistics can no longer be ignored, and it is time for a change in the helmet law issue. In an article from the New York Times titled "The Pros of Motorcycle Helmets," it shares a story of a conversation between three fictitious surgeons in a hospital discussing the California legislature's real-life attempts to enact a mandatory motorcycle helmet law. The doctors claimed that motorcycle fatalities are the number one source of high-quality organs for patients. They are considered the number one source of high-quality organs because oftentimes motorcycle fatalities involve a young and healthy body with no other traumatic injuries to the body. While this is an unfortunate benefit of motorcycle fatalities, it is simply against ethics to not pass helmet laws due to bountiful organs as an outcome of tragic deaths. Now I'll share with you two real-life experiences I have, one of a friend and one a personal experience of my own. Recently, a friend of mine was driving down the road. This was only a few months ago. She cut across traffic, driving carelessly, and hit a man on a motorcycle that she did not see. The man did not have on a helmet and passed away later that day in a local hospital. While the motorcyclist was not at fault in any way, he might still be here today if he had on a helmet. Unfortunately, he did not, and families of both parties will struggle with this tragedy for the rest of their lives. Now I'll share a personal experience of my own. In 2012, I was a senior in high school. I was involved in a life-altering four-wheeler accident. While this is an ATV rather than a motorcycle, my focus here is the helmet. I did not have on a helmet, and I ran off into a deep ditch. The four-wheeler flipped multiple times, and each time I hit the ground, I landed on my face. My cheekbone was broken in all three places. My maxillary bone was broken across my lip. My nose was broken in three places. My sinus wall was cracked in half. My eye socket was completely shattered, and my head was cracked across my skull on my forehead. I had reconstructive surgery in which I had titanium plates put in my face for my cheek, as well as a titanium eye socket made to fit for my eye. I've also had multiple follow-up procedures, one including coral being put into my eye to give support to the actual eyeball. Miraculously, my eyeball itself and my brain were not injured, which was a fat chance considering everything around the two was destroyed. I will also have many more surgeries and procedures to come in the future as I age over time. I missed 2 months of my senior year and had to play catch up until graduation when I returned back to school. Unfortunately for me, it took getting hurt to learn to be more responsible and wear a helmet, and I don't want others to have to learn the hard way too. It could have been easily avoided if I had put on a helmet that day, but I didn't even think about it. I could have walked away with only the broken wrist that I received as a small fatality. In conclusion, more needs to be done about helmet law efforts. It is far too dangerous for these laws to go ignored any longer. Every time I'm driving down the road and I see a motorcyclist driving who's not wearing a helmet, I cringe at the thought that they could do more to prevent an accident. Ask yourself, why not do more to save a life?